There is no end to this. There is no end to the dissection. There is no end to the review. There is no end to the amazement of what we saw. It was great to see Candace today talk about a lot of the background stuff. Thank you, darling. A lot of the background stuff, which is just, I didn't know. All of this persnickety, these are, put it this way, these are not nice people. And I'm being very, very kind. This is somebody who would be called a dick. Somebody you would not want to know, somebody you would not want your son to emulate. Would you, let's assume you could have your child, your son, spend a weekend with them. I mean, just work with me. If for no other reason than just to be around this behavior, would you want an impressionable young man, a boy, to look up at this, or a woman to look at this mother? First of all, the way they talk. Look, let me explain something to you. None of us are monks. I don't want to say we cuss like a but we're human beings and we're adults. And I think I know a lot of words that allow me to speak and explicate with a degree of fluidity that I'm very happy about. But I'm not a prude. I'm not somebody who said, ooh. Sometimes a well-placed F or S bomb, I think, is most appropriate. But these are trailer trash. Hence, Meet the Wilsons, a sociological horror story on the decline of civility, class, and culture. This is low rent, trailer trash, white trash, absolute, just, we used to call them condo Nazis. These are just the lowest rung of the ladder. You know it. I know it. Uneducated, uncultured, unsophisticated rubes. Chuffs, churls, boors. These rusticators, hayseeds. They're just. And if this were any other, I've seen this before in arrest videos and the like. But yet, what's so interesting is that the degree of delusion that they maintain, the degree of delusion is such that they're almost inoculated from the reality of this for reasons I don't know. It's really fascinating. I mean, I am still, I think Candace, it was so great hearing her today, and she reiterated, at least in my mind, the idea of how really important this was. And how a lot of people really talked about it. By the way, Ms. Lisa's phone, our moderator, thank you so much. Just incredible. Doing such a terrific job. Thank you, young lady, for all the work. Gridiron and Glass is a brand new member. Welcome. I am, as you can probably know, I am so interested in a lot of things in terms of our culture, in terms of a lot of stuff. I'm interested in a lot of stuff, and I'm interested in how we put together our ways of interpreting things. Now, there are those people. Oh, I found out today. I did a show called Redacted with our good friend Natalie Morris. She and her husband Clayton do a very, very popular, very, very, very successful show covering a variety of subjects. And she asked me, she said, did you know anything about something? No, excuse me. She said, is it okay if I bring something up? So little background, explain kind of how the way this thing sort of goes. I'll explain it in a way. I received a call, just a text from her saying, would you like to go in and talk about this? I said, great. That's wonderful. And then she said, this is Natalie Morris. She says, by the by, do you mind if I talk about this? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what. What pray tell is this that you would like to talk about? So she tells me, interestingly enough, and I want to show you this. Oh, here we go. She shows me this part. And it's this piece. Oh, yes. from our friend Mr. Viva Frey. And he says, he quotes, I invited real Candace Owens on for a discussion multiple times. She has not accepted. Guess why, Molan Lobby 2024? In fact, I invited Ian Carroll's show. He has not accepted, even though he has been on my channel before. I invited Baron Coleman. He has not accepted. I invited McHuya. He has not accepted. I invited Lionel Media. That's my name on the or my texting. He has not accepted. Guess why? The people just asking questions don't like just answering questions. But your next pivot will be accusing me of being a grifter by asking them on for discussion. So anyway, I explained to Natalie, I said, this is news to me. I said, I didn't know anything about this. And unlike a lot of people, if you notice, I have on my X account, you don't have to follow me or whatever to text me, to communicate or whatever it is. Nothing bold or brave. It just makes sense. I might find somebody who's there, but I went through. I said, did this guy ever talk to me? No. Ever get any email? No. Never got any invitation from him. And more importantly, I'm thinking, this debating stuff is just done. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in debates. Then you got to do another one. Then somebody says, hey, I'm going to pick up some, viewers, or it's not interesting. I'm not being summoned. I don't care one way or the other. But just to be honest with you, to be fair, I've never received this. But one of the reasons why nobody wants to maybe deal with you is that for a lot of reasons, not because you're just an incredible wit, not because we don't feel confident in what we're saying, but because this is just stupid. I saw something today, maybe you saw. This fellow, Tim Pool, I don't know what his story is, but it reminds me kind of a Destiny type, kind of that fast talking. Another one who was deluded. He was one of these fellows who was one of the influencers who went to the White House. And then I think, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think he went to meet with Bibi or something and he had to explain. I don't know. But he's one of these influencer types that are kind of like I don't know if he's a shill, but in any event, God bless him, not interest me. But he was on this program or this debate where he sits around with a number of people and they just all talk at the same time, and then it's horrible. And I'm saying, good for you if you enjoy that. That's not debating. That's not interesting. I'm not interested in that. I mean, just because somebody says, would you like to do this? No, I'm not. In fact, I don't have people on to debate. I don't have a lot of guests. There are people I really do like. I've had people on whose shows I like quite a bit. I just like them. Number one, Candace and Baron and Colin and Sabby Sabs. I liked her. Cassia, Fredo, Zach. Oh God, Zach. Please me. My head's going crazy. Zach Costello. Oh, by the way, tonight, Mrs. L, you ready for this? La-di-da. I'm going to show you a picture. Well, I have to. We went to an event tonight. It was a private. This sounds so good. It was on the Upper East Side. It was a private showing of Basquiat art. And it's in this kind of this townhouse. Beautiful. And it was a don't ask me how we got to find it. It was very interesting. But it was put on by a group of people where they buy art as an investment. And I'm looking at this one, I'll show you this one particular painting. They had a number of his. And I looked at it and said, how much is this? $12 million. $12 million. They had a Warhol. I don't know how much that was. 10 million, 9 million. Unbelievable. Just right there, and you can invest in them. But I thought to myself, this is great. It was a beautiful, cool night. Upper East Side, very la-di-da. And I went from that to scraping the bottom of the intellectual and society barrel by dealing with the Wilsons. I thought, what a unique trajectory, dare I say. So here we are right now, and we're not even done as to what's going on. Now let's go back to something. The guy who is really, this is, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm surprised, very, very popular man, but this is PBD. Nobody's talking to him or about him because for the fact that he just really doesn't do that much. And I don't really know what his story is. But he is somebody who, for the most part, is just full of shit. He really is not, I'm sorry to say this, he's not as smart as you think. And I really think, and this is very important. First of all, anybody who comes to this country and speaks another language, God bless you. But his English, I don't think he's there. I don't think I just don't think he, maybe it is there, and I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt. I want you to listen to this, which is so funny. This is, he was the debater. Listen to what he has to say as far as who he thought the winner was.
We'll say one. Here's why we'll say one.
Now listen to this. Now this is not mine, so it looks a little jump cut there, but so I can't speak for whether this was taken out of context. I don't know. But he said this, but he might not have said it exactly in this particular phrase. In any event, let's watch this. He's going to tell us who he thinks won, okay?
You know who I will say won? Here's who I will say won. I think both of them won, and I'll tell you why they won. But I think Candace won because she got the money and she presented her argument. And in an area where she conceded, she says, I don't know why you're playing this video. I already conceded to you. And I said, yeah, I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And she did that. So that was good for her to do that. And
does he know what he's talking about? No.
I think she got in front of an audience and moved some people that probably don't watch her content.
She has six. Look at his face. He figured this out. Six or so million on YouTube alone. He's a simpleton. He really is. I mean, I'm sorry. He's not a bad guy, but he's not exactly Edward Whitten.
Remember, baptizing is key. Baptizing is key. And I think Andrew Wilson won because, let me explain it to you how much he won.
What?
And I think he won more than Candace won.
Now, again, I can't vouch for this. I did not pull this myself, but this shocks me more than anything else.
And my argument is going to be very, very weird.
Okay. I'm not going to be shocked. Go ahead, sir.
You ready?
Go ahead.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Ready.
This guy spent $300,000 and got somewhere between $50 to $200 million of ad viewership.
Yeah. Great point.
Tell me how that happened. $200 million of ad. Did you see his numbers at the end? Did you see them? I forget what they were. Whatever Candace was $200 million. Now remember, PBD fancies himself as the businessman. He's the businessman. He knows the dollars and cents. Does this make any sense to you? Anything?
So guess what?
He's a big winner.
My wife at home says, who was the guy? I'd never seen him before. My dad says, I've never. Most people, his YouTube channel only had 180, 200,000 subs.
Yeah.
Very good, eloquent. I've had him on. He's been on Rogan a couple.
Eloquent? What is he? See, he wants to be nice. He wants to be the diplomat. He wants to be everybody's friend. He doesn't really want to tell you the truth. He doesn't want to hit you hard with this. I mean, seriously. I came upon this, and this shocked me probably more than anything, believe it or not, that Andrew said, because Andrew's an idiot. But this guy, the great PBD, the great businessman, the genius.
Times, so he's getting the momentum.
His father and his wife said, who is this guy? I've never seen him. Okay.
I think Andrew Wilson won because
everybody won. Everybody.
For everybody that says, what an idiot to give $300,000, I think it's the same story as Kanye spent $7 million on an ad for Super Bowl and sold $25 million of merch. I think Andrew Wilson won because overnight now everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Very simple. So from the business standpoint,
The business.
Andrew Wilson made a lot more than $300,000.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Hang on a minute. I don't know what that is. Okay. Now, this man is an unabashed stupex, a Boeotian. This might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. In my life. He said, well, people, they know who he is now. Oh, they know who he is. That's the problem. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Seriously. This kills me. Again, Gridiron, thank you so much. Raul Rodriguez, PBD seems to have drunk too many PBRs. That's right. I love that Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, this is what happens if you wait long enough. Some scavenger will pick something up. Somebody will intervene and be a part of whatever the hell this attempt of this is. It is beyond anything. Today I did a show with Natalie, I told you, from Redacted. And she was talking about, the left and the right. It's like, it's fascinating. Just when I think we've hit all the permutations, something like this happens. But I can tell you right now, and I mean to tell you this with all due respect. This man, this guy, will never, ever, ever, ever be able to live this one down. You do not merely get popularity, make money because they know your name. Let me ask you a question. And maybe I'm wrong. I like when people say that, maybe I'm wrong. But imagine you have a product you're trying to push or you're trying to sell. And you're going to say, here is a man who calls women retarded, who came across, I'm sorry. I don't have to tell you the way he came across. You think he's going to have people pounding on the door? Would you please sell our product? Would you be the voice of Nike? Whatever it is. Cigarettes, maybe. Pickle jar. Whatever. Aside from the obvious. Do you think so? Not a chance. Not a chance. What is the one word that comes to mind when you think of him? Because he has become a meme in the right context. Let me show you also great, what is this? Candace mentioned these folks tonight. They are genius. Great. It is called great. Oops, hang on. I want to get them. You got to be on X now. You got to be on X. Let me see who these folks were. And still, I'll try to find it for you. Anyway, watch this. Just a second. Be nice if I could find it. It certainly would. Okay, yes. Watch this meme, and you tell me whether he came out ahead or not.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill and you can just keep saying, so what? You take the red pill. You learn everything about the Tyler Robinson case.
So what? So what? So what? So what? Positive evidence? So what? So what? When? Appeal to emotion? So what? Burden of proof? So what? So what? So what? So what? Appeal to emotion? So what? Burden of proof? So what? Positive evidence? Positive evidence? Positive evidence? Positive evidence? So what? So what? So what? Appeal to emotion? What? So what?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop!
This is where forbidden. There we go. Where forbidden. Genius. This video wasn't real. This is what this kills me tremendously. This is now. They always say we have to make sure you have to act to ask that you're. Oh, you have to say whether it's AI or not. There is a video going on around today, of Zoran Mamdani. I'm not going to play this for you. He's the mayor of New York. And somebody obviously put a Mandarin AI voice or something, and they're actually saying, hey, I think this is I think this is AI. It's like, schmuck, this is AI. They didn't know. They don't know. It blows my mind. I don't even know how to. I don't know how to put this into words anymore. I want to play some for you also. I played this today. And it's so sad. Because just as, I don't know about you, but I'm going through I don't know what this is. Mourning or just resolution. But this is Charlie. And listen carefully as to who he believes is the enemy.
So there's two types of haters. There's I was trying to find a nice way to say this, but I'm not going to say it. There's
I can say it for you.
Yeah, there's like the purple-haired jihadist on a college campus that wants to murder me and my family.
Oh.
That, like...
I don't have those kind of haters.
Yeah, I know. Those...
Now remember, I was explaining to Natalie today, this is what is being propounded as the people who are responsible for this. Because the people who are responsible for this want you to think that it's the radical left. And that what they're doing is, a lot of people are claiming that, we'll explain this, that Candace Owens is somehow defeating or betraying her radical right. I'll explain this in a moment. I know, it makes no sense, but let's proceed.
People don't bother me, whatever.
See, my haters are nothing now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they have weapons. We get death threats almost every day. That's part of the game of the space that I'm in. The other type of haters, though, are the ones that are the close proximity ones, and these are the ones I know that had some sort of relationship with me and either betrayed me or deceived me or said that I could not succeed. That is a whole different, those actually get my attention.
Yeah.
Just like the random troubled person on a campus, whatever.
Now, understand what's happening here. A couple of things to note. They are still trying very, very desperately, very, very blatantly, and very, very assiduously to perpetuate the meme and the idea that the people who are responsible for all this, the people that are responsible, are the radical left. They're the ones, and I think you know why, but if not, we'll walk you through this. But they want you to believe that. They want you to believe that these are the people who are responsible. This is the radical left. They are the ones involved in all of this horror. Now, I want you to also watch something which is very, very interesting. And this is something which, again, is this meme, again, which I don't think I know I'm not explaining it well, but I'm going to do my best. Watch this.
Doesn't the text you read contradict Erica's comments in Glenn Beck where she said, I have his phone and there were no threats made to Charlie? They're for one person's security only, because I'm somewhat worried the left is trying to kill me.
Where did he get this from? Remember this? Candace mentioned this evening. Where did he get this text from? I'll tell you.
That was a message sent September 9th.
But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered. They're coming after me. Someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
And I have his cell phone.
Do you think that, is this what I mean by no charitability?
I love charitability. Like charitableness.
Like, what if she was just wrong? You know? Like, do you ever think about that? Like, what if she was just wrong? What if it's not that she was nefariously trying to hide it from everybody.
And I have his cell phone.
Maybe she was just fucking wrong. Or maybe she meant, no, there's no specific person that I can point to. No specific thing I can point to. It's all general. You know what? There's just no fucking charitability with you people.
Do you know what he's saying? No.
Third degree felony. Now, I did notice something I just was curious about. If I'm just wondering, when you pulled out your phone just before you asked that question, did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my phone.
I'm just curious.
No, you can absolutely not. I have not had one communication with a single person, not even my producers who are in there this whole time.
What a dirtbag. Watch the foot.
Time we were here. You want to check my phone?
Let's see.
See if anyone was texted at all during this debate.
All right.
About the violent charges or anything.
And you really shouldn't operate in life like that. You should at least be somewhat charitable to what people are saying or trying.
Can you see the slithering, slimy, the negotiating around corners? He's just a slime bucket. He's like a coelacanth. He's not unctuous. Certainly. He's not penguin. He's slippery, slimy, squishy.
Say.
Don't need to read it.
And you know their texts. Could have been Telegram, could have been something
All
like
I
that.
have is Signal.
Watch
You can
the
check
foot.
that too.
Look at the foot.
I only have Signal.
Because when you think about it, you expect them to be charitable to the things that you say. Can you tell me all of the downsides of Donald Trump killing pedophiles in the Middle East?
Were those schoolgirls pedophiles?
It's institutionalized in.
Watch the laughing come up.
Were the 200 schoolgirls pedophiles?
You want to make sure that they're alive so they can get raped? But that.
What does that even mean?
They have weapons. We get death threats almost every day. That's part of the game of the space that I'm in. The other type of haters, though, are the ones that are the close proximity ones. And these are the ones I know that had some sort of relationship with me.
And I have his cell phone.
And either betrayed me or deceived me or said that I could not succeed. That is a whole different. Those actually get my attention.
Yeah.
Just like the random troubled person on a campus, whatever.
So the
from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God. By all means, quit.
There's something that is the most troublesome about all of this. The people that used to be his friends, the people that used to act like his friends, the people who sat next to him, the people who were like Nephi and probiotic, looking like he's smelling something fetid, like his goldfish died, like he knows something, like he's watching an autopsy for the first time. Look at the people that surrounded Charlie. And look at the people who, by the way, remember, he said, the people that I find the most dangerous are the people that are close to you, that you think you can trust, that you think are your friends.
And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and so
That's
actually
hold on. I got to keep doing. I'm sorry to hold on. She ain't taking money from you, Ben. She's earning money. Okay. What you accusing her to be a thief? I got to be honest. What are you doing here, man? Candace, if you feel like taking money, whoa, taking money? Does she not provide a podcast that you monetize? Yeah. You employ her to drive value for your company.
Subscriptions.
Are you exactly? By the way, how many times have I been pushed a Daily Wire Plus ad with Candace's face? Candace, if you feel that taking money, I don't. Jack, am I nitpicking here, or is
I think it's nitpicking a little
Jack,
bit.
this another sniveling little tit. This little epicene little. It's very difficult to put into words. It's very. I just. What does this have to do right now? Now, with the Tyler Robinson case, nothing. This has become. I've never seen anything like this during the JFK case. I brought this up today. During the JFK case, nobody confused later on Oliver Stone with the JFK case. For example, nobody said, you're one of those Oliver Stone acolytes. No, he came up with a movie. Well, Candace is basically like this. She is not a party litigant. She's not a party to any of this stuff. Nothing. She is an individual who believes I'm going to give you my observation, my analysis. I'm going to give you my version of timelines and evidence. That's it. As you are able to, as everybody did during Vietnam, or as sports experts do during games. Look at this. I've never seen anything like it. Why? It's to deliberately get you off of the facts of the case, because this guy, Tyler, should have never been allowed to live. Somebody screwed up. None of this should be going on right now. None of this. All of this nonsense should never have been allowed to get this far, this quickly. And that's precisely what's going on right now. That's precisely it. And they pulled this person, according to Patrick Bet-David, and you can do whatever you want, but I wouldn't listen to a word he says. By the way, his staff are even more stupid. He's a guy who fancies himself as one of these. I've made it. I'm Horatio Alger. There's a picture of him getting off of a plane. I've made millions and I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. But he doesn't say anything. There's no expression. He wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful of it. He just won't commit. He wants to be all good things to all people. Do you know the story of Caroline Levitt? I'm not going to go into this. Caroline Levitt leaving the White House. You know what that story is? Let me give you the answer to that. No, you don't. But this guy says, she's a great woman. What do you mean she's a great woman? You don't know anything. I don't know. I'm giving this talk. I want to hold people accountable. What are you saying? Where do you get this information from? What is the basis? What are the bases of what you are saying? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Today, AB says, Candace's debate recap today was great. Can't wait for tomorrow. It was really good. Excellent. And of course, as Zamet says, somewhat worried, I cannot make the rent, but murdered. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Not sure I know. Maybe I'm not very good at deciphering some of these things. But thank you. Listen also to listen to this man who loves to speak to you in the dark. Most of the time we go and we have to buy lights. I got these pretty nifty lights I bought from the great people. Look at this. I go, ooh, I can turn this one down, and you can really kind of adjust it. They don't look. I mean, they're really great. They're podcasting. You can get anyway. Barbizon here in New York makes them. Not according to old Pickles. He likes it in the dark. Now, do me a favor. Listen to what he's saying, and I want you to answer the question: what is it that he's trying to convey? Is this capitulation? Is this resignation? Is this embarrassment? What do you call this?
Investigation, my ass. They didn't even bother to do any due diligence at all.
What's he talking about?
I'm not a fucking reporter.
Why do you have to keep saying that? Why? I'm sorry. I should. I want you to hear this. I'm not going to go through and cut these words. I don't have time to do this. This is the way this man speaks. He's in the dark, wearing a hat, and he's hiding his eyes. Why do you think that is?
I'm not an investigative journalist.
That's true.
How the fuck am I? I'm just a guy on the internet who fucking has stalled out left-wing agendas where I can.
He stalled out left-wing agendas. No, he hasn't. He actually believes that he has been systematic. He's been critical in derailing, stalling, halting, interrupting these agendas of sorts. He fancies himself vainglorious, magniloquence. I'm great. I'm fine, but don't hold me accountable. I'm not an investigative reporter. I don't read these things. Do you expect me to read the charges, Candace? Do you expect me to know what these charges were? How dare you? Don't you know who I am? Can't you see what I am? Haven't you ever heard what I've said? I'm nothing, but I've told you I was. I just took on this this posture. I took on, along with my wife, we're the Wilsons. I took on this position, this pose. I'm a debater. I don't know why I did that. It's not even debate. I thought I had some preternatural ability, something so phenomenally interesting, that when I just showed up, I just set people straight. And sometimes I'd laugh, I'd snigger, I'd snicker, I would guffaw, chortle, I would just dismiss, because I'm not great and not powerful, especially if it was a woman. But this woman, Candace, just ripped his gonads off, handing them back to him in a Ziploc bag. And now he's doing these wild, pitch black darkness. It's like the drunk who paces up and down at night, talking to the paintings, and yelling and cursing the darkness. Just angry, confused, bewildered.
How the fuck am I the only one who has the logic or reason here to try to falsify their own position in search of real, tangible evidence? Why?
And if you understand what he's saying, congratulations, you're the one.
Why? Why?
Why? What are you saying? Wonder what's in there.
I have a shitload of never before seen, never before publicly released evidence.
I do. I just don't feel any need to show them to you. Why should I provide that evidence? Why do you expect me to provide anything in rebuttal, or as a riposte, as a counter, as a parry? Why would I do that? Why do you expect me to directly deal with, to directly affect, to confront information presented by Candace which destroys my position? Why do you expect that from me? Because it's obvious.
Tons of it.
Tons I have.
No, I'm not going to drip it out.
No, because I don't have any. I said I've
Maybe
got
some
tons.
of it.
Maybe
I haven't
not.
thought about some of it because
Some
I have
of
a
it,
feeling
yes.
I know where she's going to go after her bullshit gets refuted with
Yes.
actual evidence.
Yes.
And so I have evidence for that
Yes.
too.
I'm laughing. I'm delirious. I'm sitting in the dark, wearing a hat, a sniper hat. Who else wore a sniper hat? Who else? That's right, Erica. I'm sitting here by myself. All of a sudden, you're going to hear my wife saying, "Honey, would you go to bed? I'm talking to them." All of a sudden, welfare check banging at the door. The health professional. "Are you okay, Mr. Pickles? Are you okay? We're worried about you." Welfare check. "Go away. Look, we understand we had a bad time with that debate. I understand you had your ass handed to you. But listen, it's not everything. Most people have forgotten. Not. It's picking up momentum. This is like the expanding universe. This is what Hubble said. Hubble said the universe is expanding, is picking up speed. How is that? I don't know. Things are, when something blows up, it expands and then it loses steam. Not this. We're going to be talking about this guy because we are so delighted, because we always thought, in fact, maybe it was genius. See, we're used to weird people, strange people, people we don't like, people we think are stupid, people we think are just inane. But we had no idea that they would give us somebody as great as you. You know why? Because we love this. We love this. I mean, many of us say, "Well, I got my crazy Uncle Dave. Well, there's that guy standing on the corner talking to his hand. Well, I knew somebody." But no, he says, "Oh, I'm going to go on in the air. I'm going to tell this to the world, forever posterity. But not only am I going to do that, I'm really going to think I'm good at it." So you can watch somebody not pretending to be crazy. This isn't an act. This is a shoot. This is the real thing. He's not kidding. And through some deranged interpretation, through some deranged lens or prism, he's come up with the idea that he is, again, preternatural, that he has a Brobdingnagi, a colossal, an immane talent. Look at him. In the dark, talking to himself.
None of them. I just couldn't believe it. My entire purpose for going down there is the best $300,000 I ever spent.
Oh my, who believes this? Who believes this? This is, have you ever been to a bar and some guy says, "I say, fucker." They break my heart. Come on, let's go home. No, get away. You know, I'm just talking about. I did everything. Yeah. Now she treats me like this. I made it shit. Let's go. Get your hand off me. This is when you call the cops. You go up, hello, yes, Mrs. Pickles. Listen, Andy's down here and he's not good. Can you come over and get him? Yeah. He's talking complete garbage. Oh, he talks like that normally. Oh, is this normal? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought he's okay. He's not okay. He's not drunk. He's like this. Then he's crazy. Oh, he is crazy. And you married him. So that makes you crazy too. I see. Well, why did you marry him? Just curious. Because he promised. Oh, he said he was a great debater. Did you believe him? You did, didn't you? Yeah. You do know what people think of him, right? Yeah, you do know that, right? Yeah. By the way, do you know that today he actually showed, or yesterday he showed that AI, was it Claude? But AI basically says he won, and Claude basically scraped from the internet. I don't know what. He had to go to AI. Not that humans found him. A freaking I.
Did you get her on record and tie her to her positions?
Yeah,
and she tied herself to her positions. And
that's
she
what I
tied them
say.
up tight.
Who do you think you are?
0%.
Ooh, I'm very
0% chance it wasn't Robinson.
Do you live in a trailer?
Yes, Israel and France.
Do you?
Involved.
I do.
Yes, Erica Kirk is complicit.
Nice trailer.
Yes,
Double
tie her to her fucking. Tie them to their claims, man.
My wife's
no
got 20 kids
that there
with
was
3
that
husbands.
he's a patsy whatsoever. No
20
evidence for any of her
a lot of
claims, but I
husbands.
have tons of evidence.
Well,
to
they're
the
not
contrary
husbands.
of her
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I was in the army, sort of. I was in the army. Well, not sort of. Yeah, a while. I was just my wife says it was a sniper. I wasn't a sniper. I was a snipper. See, I used to snip off the testicles of turkeys. I tell you that. Oh yeah, I used to be a milker for turkeys. I used to be a fluffer for turkeys. So it was a long story. But it was in the army, damn it. In my mind, I didn't wear a uniform, but I sort of was in. At least I was. Not for a very long time. See why I do it? I change things. See what I do? I was a snizzler, a sniz ditcher, ditch licker snizzer. I say stuff like that. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what a sniz was. I was trying to say something and it came on sniz. And the poor girl, see that poor girl? She's supposed to be a lesbian. Did you see her? Her name was Charlie or something like that. She's an she's an OnlyFans girl. And she's I just want to say, you're sniz. You like sniz. And she said, what is it? And I said, I don't even know what this is either. But you know what? I'm an internet meme. Yeah. I'm a meme. I'm a meme. Not a good meme. And now sniz is a part of Urban Dictionary. Do you know that? Sniz. I don't know what it is. And then it was a sniz ditcher. I was going to do a ditch, which is a diz or a snitch. I don't know. He blows my mind. I can't get enough of him. Wouldn't you just love to say, you're right? I swear to you, I swear. This is a person where you want to say, can I talk to him? Why? Because I'm going to say, Andrew, you were fantastic. You were great. You had her. And a lot of people give you a hard time for reading your phone. But you know what I say? They're just jealous. Why? I don't know. That still gets me. That gets me like you cannot believe. Reading from the phone. That's what I think. That's what I think. And you snizzer, little sniz bucket. Now, that's actually kind of fun to do in a weird way, because what happens is you kind of sort of how do I say this? How do I say this? You sort of well, it's a strange thing. Let me go back to something which I was going to tell you before. There is a house in New Orleans. No, there is an attempt by people to try to bring something about. And let me just, before I forget, let me get your wonderful comments. You're so kind. You're so kind. Seriously. So kind. Yes. Somebody says, Raul says he uses F word too much. He does. Whenever you get to the point, unless you're, I know people who do that and they can't help it. I think it's almost a form of almost like Tourette's. Wilson quotes CK, Charlie Kirk, supposed text saying, I'm somewhat worried the left will try to kill me. Who talks this way? Yes. Again, we never had that text authenticated, nonetheless. Mr. Mike says, it was nice that Natalie Morris had you on today. It was nice. And you know what? It was very nice that I was on her show. Because I brought something too, buddy. I'm a star. Okay? You sniz bucket. You like sniz, don't you? Ha! Thank you. Punch says, he is a cocktail tail. Thank you so much. Our good friend Sinner and Sage says, Lionel, I couldn't love you more. Best live ever. Thank you. That's good. Cammy, oh, the lovely and talented Cammy Roundtree says, so sorry to be late. Gotta watch my favorite. As always, you're the best. Thank you so much. You are so terrific. So nice. Just love. Just bring so much love. Now, let's talk about something which is very interesting. This is this fellow, this guy, Nick Shirley. I don't trust this guy as far as I can throw him. You know why? There's a little sniz. Anyway, Nick Shirley says the following, and I want to bring this to your attention. Where is this? It was a... Oh, here we go. Listen to this. Just want to bring this up to your attention.
One of the reasons why I moved out of Utah
One of the reasons why I moved out of Utah
was because of some of these crazy people.
A lot of people talking, a lot of people wonder why I moved out of Utah. Because it's crazy people. It's like, you heard, I'm here. Hey man, I'm on my phone. I'm just digging it. Kind of like checking out the I'm not looking at you. I'm looking down. I'm looking down at you. Look up my nostrils. Okay. Because I'm just kind of scanning the horizon. You know why? Because when you're my kind of business, that's the way it should be.
And in Utah, there's been 2 shootings at political events.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They obviously just killed Charlie Kirk. And there was also a time at a protest when somebody opened fire. Somebody in the FBI needs to go in and investigate.
The FBI needs to go in. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? Listen to this now. This is Nick Shirley. Listen to him. The FBI needs to go in.
What's happening in Utah with these groups like Antifa
and
the people that control and run these protests in Utah. There needs to be a full-fledged investigation because something is happening in there and people are dying. 2 people have died now in Utah due to these crazy liberals, crazy leftists.
Do you see what's happening right now? Now, I could spend more time talking to you about this. I could explain to you all of the problems that are attendant there too. But why bring up the obvious? But it comes down to simply this. The people who are doing this, the people responsible for Charlie, want you to believe that the people responsible for killing Charlie are from the left. Therefore, the people from the left are not responsible. See? See what I mean? See how that works? The people who are actually responsible for this do not want you to think it's the right, because it is. And I'm using these words right because it is. They want to keep pushing the trope of the left. That's why Pickles read this imaginary text that came to him that said, Charlie is saying, it's the left that I worry about. They want you to think that because the people who are responsible for that, and I don't know if you can put into context, the left or right, but for purposes of this is where we are. Do not let this go by. Do not be misled by this. Do not. I want to bring you also our good friend Ian Carroll. love him. By the way, he was another one who supposedly is dodging Viva, along with Barron and everybody else for that matter, which is news to me. But watch the sheer and utter unmistakable hilarity that Ian exhibits and exudes by virtue of the wit and wisdom of our own friend, Mr. Pickles.
Owned a firearms company, I think, is the idea. So he's supposed to be an expert in firearms to a certain degree, apparently, based upon his self-proclaimed bio. And then he says this.
150 grain Remington core locks absolutely could shatter when it hits the neck of any human being. When you say that there's some steel neck and it's a smaller caliber, you have to make a counter explanation. Why wouldn't a smaller caliber also go through bone?
It could. I didn't say it can't.
Right, exactly. So if that's the case, then ammunition is going to be.
See, by the way, this is even idea. This is when he's doing this incredible, inane logic. If this, therefore this, making the counter argument, this is when he feels like I'm at my best, being a black belt rhetorician. This is when he feels like I'm really the best at this. Again, none of this came about. None of us would be even interested in this until we had met Mr. Pickles. Now, is he taking us off the subject? No. He's inspiring more and more people to look deeper into what's happening. People who didn't even care about the Charlie Kirk murder until now.
Smaller rounds often penetrate more, actually. It's kind of counterintuitive.
The critical key here, and if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip.
Listen to this.
You hear that? We have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip, soft tip. One more time.
Then ammunition is going to be the critical key here. And if we have frangible ammunition, which we do in this case, a flex tip round. Well, I'm sorry, not a flex tip, a soft point round from 100.
That's not frangible. That's not a frangible round. Totally different. Soft point, not frangible. Frangible designed to sort of turn to tiny particles on impact so that it doesn't penetrate anything and won't hurt, civilians around, often carried by police officers. That's not what a soft point is at all. And he should know that. A soft point is a hunting round designed to mushroom and expand within the wound cavity and penetrate with expansion to kill an animal as effectively as possible. It's not designed to break up into tiny little pieces. And it's also not designed to fully penetrate like a full metal jacket round would be.
50 grain Remington core lock, that's just a small jacket that goes around the actual lead piece. This thing could have split apart in air for all we know. But
that's my favorite. That's the one that I will just never forget. Out of everything, it'll split apart in the air.
Another amazing magical bullet statement. We just can't get enough of them.
Unreal.
Apparently, soft point rounds can just break up in the air.
In the air. Within a millisecond from the time that they're fired.
Without even hitting anything.
It's like Building 7. It just falls on its own footprint, even though it wasn't hit on anything.
To quote Andrew Wilson. So either we're being disingenuous to try to manipulate a point out of nowhere, or we're really stupid and have been lying about our past expertise with firearms and know nothing about bullets. Because you can literally just Google that shit.
You see, my friends, we are now forced to look at things we never looked at before. A. Kirsch Eyes says, glad Ian gets Grandpa Lionel's seal of approval. Oh, most assuredly. Most assuredly. Look, I know what you're thinking. How do we put this into perspective? I'm so glad you asked. Let me explain this to you. And by the way, may I ask a question? Is there any of you great people, be honest, who maybe kind of came on over here, just kind of sauntered on over, were a part of this thing, just kind of moved on over, said, hey, I'm going to listen to this here Lionel Media and Lionel Nation show. I'm going to kind of just move on in here, see what that's about, right? Is there anybody here who said, and plus, I'm really not that versed with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Maybe you can help me. Is there anybody here? Seriously, is there anybody here? But nobody. There's got to be somebody who says, I'm afraid to say this. It's okay It's okay, because it's always good to talk to somebody from the beginning and say, let me take you through this. Nope. Everybody here knows exactly what's going on. There's nobody here who's just going to saunter in there and say, I'm going to give this I never heard of that guy. Well, let me pretend you are. Let me tell you, you're a child. On September the 10th of last year, Charlie Kirk was killed by being hit with some type of a device. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bullet. I don't know if it's a piece of a bullet. I don't know if it's a shaped charge. I don't know if it's an exploding mic. I don't know if it was a 223 that came from another building, which they found. I don't know if it's a fragment of the 30-06. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And at this point, I kind of don't care for purposes of the trial. But let me just tell you this. He's sitting here doing his thing. They hear this crack. And all of a sudden you hear this. And Charlie just did this. Remember this? He slumped over. It wasn't even a pow. Nothing. He just did like that. Did you notice that? Everything else we talked about. Remember, JFK. Whoa. Back into the left. Pow. And okay, right here. Just kind of. And it was over quick. You notice that? No exit wound, because remember, there were cameras behind that. And they grabbed those SD cameras real fast. Or those SD cards, rather. So you got that? They heard a crack, hole, blood, exsanguination, and then. What do you think they did afterwards? What would you do afterwards? I'd call 911. That's what I do. I'd call 911. I would call 911 and say, hey, get over here. First of all, you would think normally, why do you have to call 911? There should have been ambulances there ready to go. This was a pretty big event. And this was also a pretty big event with a lot of people who said they kind of wanted to hurt Charlie in the past. So most people would say, we're going to have an ambulance or two there. No, they had to drag him out, pick him up like a sack of potatoes, and drag this 6'3", 6'5" guy in the back of the car. And by the way, as people start looking more and more into this, little by little, people start saying, wait a minute. What's all this stuff that we're seeing? What's all this? What's all this? This is weird. Did you see this latest piece of,
It's huge. This account, High IQ Outfit Squad, is sharing an amazing video, which I'm playing right now.
Watch this. Who was that? Can you see that?
It shows this character in complete black bloc going into the back of the SUV that was to take Charlie Kirk to the hospital. I have sourced this video. I know where it comes from. And yes, this is actually real. I had to play a bit with Grok to get my bearings on what's going on. Apparently, this footage was first revealed by Candace Owens in her episode titled Charlie's Angels or Demons, Disturbing Footage Emerges. Okay, so I have the sound off. I just need you to use your eyes. So this is where the SUV trunk is about to open. Watch what happens here in sequence, and I'll walk you through it. So we have them scrambling to open doors. You see the trunk is about to be popped open, and then boom, this character just runs all in frame right there. I'm going to focus on this, but first we're going to just show you that is what's happening generally. So you see the trunk gets popped open. The character runs to the trunk right there, and then boom, immediate pan, and then he has his hand in his chest. And I think this is deliberate because I think Terrell Farnsworth saw that the camera was not supposed to show that, and he got scared. And that's my theory. Let's play Farnsworth's reaction now with the sound on. He looks nervous.
They just shot Charlie.
And he says they just, hit Charlie. If you look on YouTube for the points where there's the most interest, you see a little jump right here. So this is also a point of the video that was of most interest to the public. Maybe individuals in the federal government saw that this clip exists, so they're all going to this point to see if it actually showed the figure. This figure. So far, it appears that Arthex Memoriam is the only account that's amplifying this post showing this amazing thing. But Joa did catch on as well, and he shared the footage in Suleiman's space. Joa's angle shows the guy in much more detail. So you see him right there. And he's clearly going in. He's going into the back of the vehicle. So
doesn't this absolutely, positively astound you? When it's not the FBI showing this, it's not the Utah prosecutor showing you, it's very proud and very wonderful and very welcomed independent civilian sleuths.
So the operant question here is, who is this? On its face, this proves there's pre-planning of some sort for him to be dressed this way and suggests a larger plan at place. This is what we know as a smoking gun. I haven't had enough time to think about exactly who this might be, but a theory I have to play with is the idea of Charlie somehow being alive, possibly this being Charlie, and then possibly the guy who's carried to the middle of the SUV being another deceased body, a dummy, I don't know. But then you have to explain the medical examination and his hospital treatment too. I was looking through the archive.org sequences to get a sense of the SUV footage, but I didn't see the Farnsworth angle. And it's probably because Candace was the first person to reveal this to us. And just as a reminder, it appears Candace got the video from Terrell himself.
This video, I don't know what this video could have done that he sent me other than to make me feel even more uncomfortable.
And yeah, it makes us all feel uncomfortable. I do give credit to Truth Archive, who shared a version of this video as well just yesterday. I cannot overstate the importance of explaining whatever this is that I just showed you. This could open up the entire case, showing it is a massive conspiracy. It's important for us to figure out what's going on here and who is this individual. Please share this video and tag in Project Constitution, Ryan Meta, Candace, Travis, all the main influencers there. Thanks.
Now, people like, as you know, this occurred. None of the reactions, nothing. I didn't see, there was never a fireman, an ambulance driver, nobody standing by, nobody, especially you would think that not just if Charlie were hurt, but let's say an innocent civilian or a citizen, nobody's standing there. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody cares in the least about this. How do you possibly say, like our friend Pickles, nothing to see here, nothing at all strange? It blows my mind. And I've got to tell you something. I'm not budging. You're not budging. And we don't know what happened. But we, when I say we, I mean our side, I'm not doing this, they're doing this, are unrelenting, relentless, indefatigable, intransigent. We're not moving. We're not budging from the idea that the official narrative is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. That firearm didn't hurt anybody. That Mauser 98. So the bottom line is simply this. We're not going to ask permission. We're not going to see, do you mind if we do this? We're not going to, the very fact that you take this so lightly that you would send this complete and unabashed moron, this jadrul of the first order, goes to show you, you don't care. Well, we do. And let me tell you something. This case is not going away. If they think that this only exists within the kernel, the world of the internet, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. It's one of those things which absolutely is it just kills me. Our good friend, the Right Flux, says, splitting hair. Yeah, AW said, yeah, splitting bullets, Q fart. Oh, yes. It's somebody, this man is so without, there we go, so without shame, or that he would dare say that a bullet, pow, and immediately as it came out of the barrel, it started disintegrating, held together by spit and toothpaste. Rhinoceros says, Lionel, notice there was no mention of George Zim, the dude that dropped trial and confessed and got charged with Charlie with CP on his phone. You know, it's funny you say that. It was very, there's so many moving parts here. But rest assured, my friend, let me just say this, rest assured, we're not going anywhere. Let me also tell you that from the bottom of my heart, please forgive me if I am stuck on this. I want to say something very quickly. I mentioned this to our good friend Natalie Morris, a great and grand lady of the first stripe. This has nothing to do with Candace Owens. Nothing. If, for whatever reason, if Candace Owens says, you know what, I've had enough about this. I'm going to just the family, we're going to go on a 1-year cruise. I'll see you next year. Do you think any of us would go away? It would, I think, affect a lot of people because she makes the truth so palatable and understandable. But do you think that we're going anywhere? No. Do you think that we're going anywhere? No. See, this is the part which I want people to understand. I want people to grasp. And I want you to think about this. Nothing is the same anymore. Nothing is the same. When I grew up in my generation, we had Democrats and Republicans. And then later on, we kind of got into the right wing and then liberals and conservatives. And then it started, like those bullets, became frangible. And libertarians, and there was a moral majority, and the Christian right, and other people that came about. But for the most part, there was left and there was right, and you pretty much knew what lane to stay in and what your lane involved. And then something came along. And it was October the 7th of 2023. And then Charlie. October the 7th is when people at first came out and said, this is horrible what Hamas did to Israel, Gaza. And then Israel just decided to just carpet bomb. I mean, just. And we said, world said, wait a minute. You can't do that. And then people said, whoa, hey. Right-wingers said, listen, I don't know about that. And then we heard stories that were just incredible. Say, this is an apartheid. This is ethnic cleansing. This is ethno-superior. I mean, what are you doing? And this very carefully constructed meme, and they tried everything. You're an anti-Semite. People said, no. Many people, many of them Jewish. And they said, this has something to do with Judaism or even Zionism. This is about inhumanity, about genocide, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that was being said. Remember, you don't have to agree with this to understand this is what happened. So all of a sudden you had that. September the 10th came along, and Charlie, right around that time, he was saying, this is ridiculous. When Piers Morgan is the last person. Piers Morgan doesn't go into a particular ideology until he puts his toe in the water and he makes sure it's okay. Is it okay? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah, okay. So it's okay to speak? Yes. All right. And they tried everything. They tried to tell us that you're a genocide, you're an anti-Semite, and we didn't buy this nonsense. And they brought up people like Rabbi Shmuley and Ben Shapiro and the most obnoxious people anybody's ever met. And I don't even know what they're. And see, this is the thing. Maybe you're the same way. I don't understand anymore. Why are these people your spokesman? Why? Okay, fine. Then comes Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson says, I'm done with this. And then he brings in Marjorie Taylor Greene and Joe Kent and Thomas Massey. And all of a sudden, there's this call for I say not a third party, a second party. We are involved in something now that is of such I don't even know what the word is, that is of such import. I've never seen, this is a colossus. So all of a sudden we're coming, the left and the right are realizing they're taking off their jackets as they left and right, and we're just taking to the field so you can't say who's who anymore. I mean this. Listen to what I'm saying. We had something the other day, which is the most interesting, an internet debate that I've never seen before. It took on almost the same categorization, the same category of like War of the Worlds or FIFA or something. Everybody was watching this. And what this man doesn't understand is that, this may not mean anything because you have no self-respect, Pickles, but you are universally, you have been dubbed and you have been considered, and most people agree, you are an asshole of the first stripe, of the first order, of a legendary. Your picture is an ass, or as you say in West Ham, about come mierda. You are a buffoon. You're a schmuck. I don't even know what it is. And we're still doing this. And while the rest of the world says, hey, we're talking about this, we're saying, no, we're talking about this. But here's the story. While everybody's here, and this is what I can't impart upon people enough. When this goes, and while we're in this tent, and while we're in this auditorium, and we're sitting here and we're watching this presentation, before we go out and break up for the evening, a lot of us turn around and say, listen, is it safe to assume that we agree with a lot of stuff? Yes. We may not agree with everything 100%, but like this jerk said, 75%, which is not guilty. But we believe, yes. You're looking at right now the new third or second party. This is it. I have forever thrown away my political allegiance to whatever you want to call it. I have been an independent, but I'm really independent now. And most of us are realizing that the people that are lying to us are the government, the people entrusted to make sure that we're taking, the people that are supposedly the good guys have let us down again. And there are first timers, maybe who were not old enough to remember JFK or MLK or RFK or 9/11. Remember, next month is the 25th anniversary. But they remember this. And they remember how Charlie was shot and cut down like a dog in the street. And we will never forget that. So let me just tell you something. Anybody who thinks, oh, this is just some story about some guy. No. This is bigger than anything you have seen. Listen to what I'm telling you. This, my dear friend, is history. This is history. They will be talking about this forever. I mean it. And I know sometimes people think, they can make too much out of it. No. Let me also tell you this. Let me also leave you with this. This is not about Candace. I think we love Candace. I admire her, love her to death. I think I know. Don't you feel like you know her? I do. I really do. We've loved lots of people. Candace, Johnny Carson, people that we've just loved, and actors and, musicians. And, who else has that? Dolly Parton. I don't think Dolly Parton's doing very well, by the way. I don't think she's well at all. And that's very sad. So it offends me, but it doesn't. People say, you're doing this, you're some kind of a Candace clone. And it's like, listen, do me a favor. Send your best. The next time you want to come after us, send your best. Don't insult us by sending this asshole. He's nothing. He is a joke. He is a clown. And he doesn't know it, but we know it. Years ago, Larry Bird said the following. Larry Bird, the great Boston Celtics classic. White guy, phenom, unbelievable. And he said, one time when somebody was guarding him, he went to the coach, I think the opposing side, and said, you have either a white guy guarding me, a white guy? How dare you? This is what you send after me? Did one or two white guys? And he destroyed them. He said, don't you ever do that again to me. And they kind of laugh at it, but it's true. But here's the thing. We've been studying this every single day. There are people who have studied this so assiduously, so painstakingly. And you send this asshole, this walking, gaping cloaca to represent your side, you just don't care. And you know what else they do? They underestimate us. They really don't know what we're about. They don't believe it. They don't respect us. Well, let me tell you something, my friends. They're going to find out the hard way. I told you this expression, and I don't want to be gratuitously, but it's don't with the falcon unless you can fly. And buddy boy, you better start sprouting some wings because we are ready. We haven't even started. We haven't even hit the arraignment yet. And the only way this stops is if you off Tyler. And that's something we're very concerned about. I want him to have his day in court. I want this nonsense to be exposed. I want him to walk out a free man. And I want to be able to walk out and look at that idiot in the mouth, these fools, and say, I told you. I told you so. They didn't either drop the charges or acquit him, which they also can drop the charges, but they didn't acquit him because of Candace Owens. They did it because it was right. And we told you this, but you laughed at us. So why don't you do this? Why don't you get your debating team guy over there and all these other assholes? Why don't you get together and just commiserate? Sit around and figure out, because let me tell you something. These folks, I'm dead serious about this. You know what our friend, and I thought he was a good guy, this Viva feller, who, by the way, nobody wants to talk to you. It's like, but you don't understand. You lost so many people. You'll never get them back. Never. It's just like when you lose a digit. You lost these people. Why did you do that? Why? Tell me you were paid off. Then I'll understand it. But don't tell me you did this on purpose. Don't think you thought, here's a good idea. I think I'm going to go against obvious evidence. I'm going to say that I think this story makes a lot of sense. I can't believe that but then again, I don't know who's telling me the truth anymore because everybody's so crazy. The people who brought him, I don't know where it comes from. Oh, look at this. Isla Morada gifted 10 Lionel Nation memberships. Thank you so much. See how beautiful they are? Thank you for that. So, my friends, I thank you. Please enjoy our thumbnail. Meet the Wilsons. I love it. And thank you for this. Please follow Mrs. L, my beloved wife, Lynn Shaw, at Lynn's Warriors. She was on the phone tonight, all tonight, talking with teachers, talking about what they need to do to address. There are schools right now where there are no books, no papers, no nothing, just Chromebooks. And the reason why that's where this horrible information can be planted. It gets into the mainstream and the bloodstream of the souls of children much easier. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you don't know how bad it is. Follow her at Lynn's Warriors. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa is fun. Our moderator, you were wonderful. We'll see you tomorrow in the morning. We have more stuff coming up. I like that 8:30. It works out great for me. And my friend, I thank you. Also, please like this video and hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And until tomorrow night, my friend, tomorrow morning, I say to you, thank you. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.